What is up? We are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide. I'm the host with the most, the best One Donnie here with...
What's going on, everybody? Danny Huckins here, man. 1/3 of We Are Wrestling, and it's only me and Donnie today. Ben's got some stuff going on, but what's going on, man? We're here to talk some predictions. Saturday is Backlash, and I gotta be honest, man. I'm excited for the watch along because it's gonna be awesome, getting to hang out with everybody. But the match card is not the greatest, especially coming off the heels of what I think was a really good WrestleMania, man. But what are your thoughts?
Man, I gotta say, out of all the Triple H cards, I'm gonna be honest here, this definitely is one of the weaker cards. I definitely got to agree with you on that. But to the We Are Wrestling Maniacs listening, want to give you guys heads up that this Saturday for WWE Backlash, we will be doing a live watch along on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel. It's going to be myself, the host with the most, Danny Huckins, and the Lone Ranger, Ben, and we're going to be watching Backlash live. So if you guys are looking for somebody to watch it with, go to our YouTube page, We Are Wrestling. But if you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, and you're not a part of the thousands of subscribers, the best way to support us is by hitting that subscribe button now, turning on the post notifications. Videos be coming out of nowhere like an RKO, and of course, you already know, the grind is real. And before we get into these predictions, to the people that are listening on Spotify, welcome. This is a brand new thing for We Are Wrestling. So not only are we going to be uploading the podcast to Spotify, pretty soon we are going to be posting them on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts as well. Just got to wait until we get listed. But the episodes will still be remaining on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel.
If you want to watch the video version, the audio version, Spotify, all that stuff, video version, because a lot of people do like to watch podcasts now in 2023, you can watch us on YouTube, man. Make sure you guys subscribe.
That's right. Lots of big things are coming to the We Are Wrestling channel, guys. We have lots of news coming out within this month, and we're planting the seeds because we're ready to grow. But now, with that being said, let's get into the Backlash predictions. So, Danny, before we get into our first match, how do you feel overall about this pay-per-view? Premier live event, I should say.
I feel like this show is just one of those filler shows. You know what I mean? And Backlash never used to be like that. You would have feuds at WrestleMania, to come to some kind of conclusion or whatever, and then Backlash would come a month or two later, and that would solidify the ending of a lot of the feuds from the previous year. This year's show, man, it just seems like it's filler. Nothing really makes sense. We still don't know why Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes are in a match. They haven't. The only thing that they have mentioned was the fact that Brock Lesnar was upset that he wasn't in the main event. But I mean, that's never Brock Lesnar's style anyway. So a lot, the match between him and Cody, even though it's probably going to be a good match, doesn't really make it much sense. And it's more than just having really good matches. I want my storytelling to be there. I want shit to make sense. And I just feel like a lot of the matches on this card don't make sense. The only thing that makes sense is Riddle, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens versus the Bloodline. And I believe we have LWO in a match or whatever. We have Zelina Vega against Rhea Ripley. Some things do make sense, but a lot of the higher matches, there's just really no excitement there.
And I think that's the thing about this Backlash pay-per-view. You're right when you said this does feel like a filler. I think, with the WWE draft and, having the new World Heavyweight Championship, more people are looking forward to Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia than this pay-per-view. And with the draft, nothing happens until after the draft. So all these guys that got drafted to Raw, all these guys that got drafted to SmackDown, the free agents, all of that stuff starts after Backlash. And I think that's where myself and a lot of, the We Are Wrestling Maniacs, that's what we're really waiting for.
Exactly, man. But, I mean, is the show going to be good? Are the matches going to be high-quality matches? Yes, they are. One thing that you can never do, especially Paul Levesque, is you can't doubt him. The way that he structures matches, the way that he helps put matches together, they're going to be bangers. It's hard for me to get invested into a match that makes no sense, and there's really no story as to why it's happening in the first place.
Storytelling to me is very important. And for me, I'm not really looking forward to this Backlash that much because, in case the We Are Wrestling Maniacs have been hiding under a rock, I have been on a break since after WrestleMania for 3 weeks. So I wasn't really keeping myself in the loop with everything going on. So going into these predictions, I'm definitely going to be having a lot of questions that
Yep.
hopefully you have the answers for. You probably don't have some of the answers for, but we're going to have to wait and see.
But I'm looking forward to the watch along. I'm looking forward to hanging out with everybody. It's gonna be a good night regardless. I'm gonna have fun. It's always fun when we do watch along stuff. To be honest, that's my favorite kind of content to make. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be great. Hopefully the show is better than we expect it to be, but I don't expect too much.
Same here, but I do think with some of these matches that we do have, I think that the matches are definitely going to be a lot better than the storytelling. And I think some of these matches are really going to be sleepers. And I think, especially with the sold out crowd in Puerto Rico, I think that this is going to be a pretty successful show, despite the lack of storytelling happening for this pay per view.
Exactly.
All right, so with that being said, let's get into the first match, which the card can always, subject to change. Nothing is in place until the day of, but we try to, rank the matches based on balance and what we think is going to happen. So with that being said, the opening contest for WWE Backlash and our predictions, it is a triple threat match for the United States Championship. Austin Theory defending his championship against Bronson Reed versus the almighty Bobby Lashley.
I've been thinking about this match for quite a while because obviously and I've said it numerous times. I've stated on the podcast. I'm a huge fan and a huge advocate of Bronson Reed, bro. The dude has so much talent, and I don't feel like a lot of people see it. It's gonna take some time, but I do feel like, especially like after the Elimination Chamber, even you said like Bronson Reed's a fucking animal.
He impressed me.
I going into this match before the draft, because obviously, I had an idea of what was going to happen in my head, not really knowing like which way the draft was going to go. I thought this is going to be the time they were going to put the U.S. title on Bronson Reed, and I was thinking about it, and then the draft happened, and Bronson Reed is on Raw. Austin Theory's on SmackDown. Obviously, we can't have the U.S. and the Intercontinental Champion on the same show. But then I was thinking about it also. There could always be a possibility that Bronson Reed could win and he could get transferred to SmackDown and Austin Theory could get it, almost like, a trade. Raw could get Austin Theory, Bronson Reed could go to SmackDown with the U.S. title. So there's always that possibility too. I don't want to rule it out. But part of me does think that they're going to keep the title on Austin Theory. But, I mean, what else does he need to prove? Don't you think he should sort of work his way up to something bigger than the U.S. title?
So here's the thing. There is another possibility that could happen. You could give Bronson Reed the championship and have 2 mid-card titles on Raw and bring in a new championship for the mid-card guys on the SmackDown brand. That is always a possibility there. Triple H has done a fantastic job so far, making most of these championships very prestigious again. And I, think that especially with Roman Reigns' historic title run, being a part-timer, not really being there much, I think it wouldn't hurt to have another mid-card championship. But I understand, sometimes having too many championships could take away some of, the prestige in the other championships.
Here's my issue with that. Then you would have the Intercontinental, U.S., and World Heavyweight on the same show, with only those guys on that brand being able to fight for those.
Hey, one of your favorite times, Danny, was the Attitude Era, and they had a lot of mid-card championships, and they were all very prestigious.
But that was also before they had any kind of brand split. You know what I mean? Having had three main titles on one show for only that show superstars being able to fight for those. I mean, that leaves
Raw is
SmackDown
3
with
hours,
nothing.
though. Raw is 3 hours, so they do
I
have a
know.
lot of time, and having another mid-card championship could definitely develop more storylines and more, matchups, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
But
I
now,
like.
like, getting back now into the match, I think that definitely we all know what's going to happen realistically. Bronson Reed, Bobby Lashley, they're going to kill each other in that ring, and Theory is going to weasel his way out of this one and retain the championship and have the title on SmackDown, while Gunter is having the championship on Raw.
Yeah, but it also opens up Bronson Reed to potentially have a match with Gunther. Not saying he's going to win, but it also gives that possibility too. I would love for Bronson Reed to be in a match with somebody of the same kind of stature as him. Somebody, that just destroys people. And I mean, I think Gunther and Bronson Reed will be able to put on a hell of a match. Bobby Lashley, I don't, I understand this match. First of all, this match
Isn't
shouldn't
Lashley
even.
on SmackDown? I believe he got drafted
I
to the
think so.
SmackDown brand.
I think so. But here's what I'm going to say about this. Okay. Originally, this match was going to be Bronson Reed versus Lashley, which would have been a better match. I don't think this match should have been a triple threat in the first place, especially if you're going to just have Theory retain. Like, there's no. I would have much preferred having Bronson Reed and Lashley in the one-on-one match and tear each other apart.
Didn't
That
they
would have
have a
been a
really
better
good
match.
match on Raw that got great feedback a few weeks ago?
They did, and Bronson Reed, he put on a hell of a match, and he had the flu during it. He was really, really,
I
really
did
sick.
see a report on that, man.
He was really,
Huge
really sick.
props.
And Bronson Reed, two weeks ago on Raw, he destroyed Bobby Lashley, and gave him the tsunami, and obviously, Theory got involved in the match,
Great
or got
name for
involved.
that finisher, man. Great name.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
but this match should have never been a triple threat match. Especially it does not make if Theory wins, it does not make Lashley or Bronson Reed look any better than they are going into the match.
That is true, but I think Bronson Reed getting this exposure in a sold-out crowd on a premier live event is
In
going
Puerto
to do
Rico,
things for him, because that is somebody that I really think the more we put him on TV, the better he is going to get. We saw it in the Elimination Chamber match. They put him in very good spots, and he got over in that situation. So now putting him in a triple threat match against the almighty Bobby Lashley, who is a former WWE champion, who is very popular with the WWE universe, and having him, in the ring with Austin Theory, one of the most, brighter future superstars in the business. I think that this is definitely going to get some more eyes on him, and I think that's the ultimate goal here for Bronson Reed.
yeah, I definitely think so. Regardless, this match is going to be a banger.
This is how I want them to push Bronson Reed, and I'm glad Triple H is doing it the right way.
And you could always have Theory lose without Theory getting pinned. You could have Bronson Reed and Lashley take out Theory, right? So he's in contest. He's out of the ring. Pass out on the outside, and the match could end with Bronson Reed destroying Lashley. And it with them both being on SmackDown, they can carry on with their feud in that direction as well. So, there's a lot of different directions, a lot of moving parts when it comes to this. I'm excited. This match is one of the matches I'm really excited to see.
I am very excited.
It's going to be brutal.
And that's the thing about Triple H's triple threat fatal four-way matches. Anything can happen. Survivor Series, War Games in Boston, Ben and I were out there, and nobody in that arena had Austin Theory winning the U.S. champion. Everybody thought it was Seth Rollins that was going to retain the championship. Everybody even had Lashley over Theory going into this. And they pulled a hat trick under us and gave Austin Theory the champion, where he hasn't even lost the title since. So anything can really happen in a Triple H triple threat match. Something definitely to consider.
And I also think that, with this character that Theory plays. Like he's a cocky heel. Oh, I'm better than you. There's nobody that can do what I do. Having him lose the U.S. title without getting pinned, that'll add to his character because he'll be like, yeah, I lost, but I didn't get pinned. And what? You know what I mean? It'll just add
Exactly.
different elements to the character. So whether it's Bronson Reed or Lashley, I do feel like there's a possibility one of them could walk out of this match with the title. And just because Theory loses doesn't mean he has to get pinned. It'll add elements to the character that he's portraying on TV.
And I want to say one more thing about Austin Theory before we get into who we think is going to win this match. I love Austin Theory. He's one of my favorite young superstars in WWE. I think that this man is easily going to be a future world champion.
Mhm.
Sometimes when I watch his promo work, he reminds me of like a generic My Career player, like in a WWE game. Like the way like he talks, it's like you have two options underneath him, and then like he just talks like, like like one of those like generic characters that like you create in like a WWE video game. But I still love Theory though. I don't know why I always think
I mean, the dude's only 25, 24 years old, bro. Like, 10 years from now when he's 35, imagine how if he's good, if he's as good as he is now, imagine 10 years from now. I mean, the dude's I'm going to put this out in the universe now. He'll be WWE champion by the time he's 30.
I agree. Either the WWE champion or the world heavyweight champion. He will have that title before he's 30.
If the world heavyweight title gets won by Seth Rollins, I could see them having a pretty good lengthy feud. They could have some banger matches for that title. So is that possibility, man?
So who do we got winning this triple threat match?
I gotta go with Bronson Reed. I just, the dude has impressed me more so over the last couple of months. It took during the Elimination Chamber, it took 5 or 6 finishers to actually eliminate the guy. The dude's just a fucking monster, bro. He demolished Lashley on Raw a couple weeks ago, and the dude is just a ball of strength. Like, if he's hungry enough, he'll demolish anybody to get what he wants. And they've also been showcasing a lot of vignettes about, surrounding him, adding elements to his character and
I
the person he
love
portrays on TV.
vignettes.
Yeah,
I love
know
what
you
they've
do.
been doing with them. I love
So,
it.
You can't rule out the possibility that it could happen.
So, who do I want to win this match? Bronson Reed. I would love for, Raw to get another mid-card title and have SmackDown bring in maybe like a European championship or something. Who I think realistically is going to win? Theory. Lashley, Bronson Reed, they're going to kill each other for like 10, 15 minutes. Theory's going to sneak in somehow, some way, get the victory. They're probably going to take out Theory in the beginning, and then at the end, Theory sneaks his way to victory.
That's kind of what happened.
And I feel like the person realistically that I could see taking that championship off of Theory, LA Knight. LA Knight, I think it's only a matter of time before he turns face and goes against Theory.
Isn't that's sort of what happened at Survivor Series, right? Rollins and Lashley were beating the hell out of each other, and then Theory came out of nowhere and fucking won.
Yep, that's exactly what happened. And his character would do something like that.
Yeah, I can see a repeat. I am such a huge fan of Bronson Reed because I know what he's capable of, and the dude is gonna be a huge star, bro. It's only a matter of time.
Tsunami! Moving on now to our next match on the Backlash card. It is for the Raw Women's World Championship. Bianca Belair defending the championship against Io Sky.
Even though this match somewhat makes sense, it doesn't at the same time. I thought this whole Bianca and Damage Control thing has been going on since before SummerSlam last year. I don't know, man. This is one of those matches that I don't care, to be honest with you. Damage Control came, Bianca ended up, becoming friends again with Becky Lynch. Damage Control took Becky Lynch out. And then they went months without having any kind of program, and now all of a sudden they need a women's match on the card, a women's title match. So they're revamping the feud or whatever that nobody gave a fuck about in the first place. I got who I think is gonna win is Bianca. Io Sky, even though she should, being in Damage Control, she's not gonna win the women's title, and I don't think they're ready for Bianca to relinquish it yet. I heard
Yeah.
that Bianca was trying to or WWE wanted her to have some kind of there's a record that they wanted her to break or whatever, kind of like Roman Reigns.
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
they're trying to have everybody break records all of a sudden, which is definitely going to be a topic that you guys are not going to want to miss this Saturday on the new episode of the We Are Wrestling podcast. Danny and I are going to be diving deep into that. But now I want to give you guys my thoughts on Io Sky versus Bianca Belair. I think that this is definitely another filler match for, a lackluster storytelling card going into Backlash. But I think there's always a reason to why a match is happening. And I think that Triple H does have big plans for Io Sky. So putting her in this situation against one of the very best right now, Bianca Belair, I think that these two are going to have a classic. I think that Io Sky versus Bianca Belair, if they can have a match longer than 10 minutes, it will be better than Asuka versus Bianca at WrestleMania. I really think that.
I don't doubt this match is going to be good. It's just, again, it's one of those matches that it sort of was thrown together the last minute, and it's just, I don't care, bro. I'm sick of these matches that are just so predictable. You know what I mean? There's another women's match on the card that, you already, just looking at the card, you know who's going to fucking win. You know the outcome of it. I'm sick of, I miss when wrestling was unpredictable. You didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. It's just, just looking at the card. I don't know if it's just because we analyze we're more than just fans of pro wrestling. We spend a lot of time talking about it. We have a podcast, this and that.
We're maniacs.
We're maniacs, bro. I'm sick of matches that are predictable. You know exactly what's going to happen. Well, that's what this is.
You see, the reason why a lot of these matches feel predictable is because each person that's going against each other is on an opposite brand. Bianca Belair just got drafted to SmackDown. Io Sky, I believe she's still on Raw. So
no, Damage Control's on SmackDown.
Oh, they are on SmackDown. Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. A lot of these, talent, they're on different brands for the most part. You have Theory, who's on SmackDown going against Bronson Reed, who is on Raw. So, there's all these different, possibilities, all these different scenarios. And I think after the draft, that's where, I saw reports that Triple H is going to be full control. And I think we're really going to start getting a lot more, more unpredictable matches and outcomes. I think that they're going to be starting to do the sports betting thing. I believe that is going to happen some point this year.
How the fuck?
Don't know when.
How the fuck can you bet?
That's why they're going to be doing things on the low, and it's going to be more unpredictable, I think.
Yeah, but how can you bet on a scripted sport?
I don't know, Danny. I don't know. I'm just making a prediction.
Especially with all these dirt sheet writers or whatever that get information, bro. Do you know how easy it'd be for somebody to fuck the system?
Yeah. That's why I don't think sports betting should get involved in wrestling. But I think it's going to happen at some point because of how popular WWE is. But now getting back into, Bianca, Io, I am a huge Io Sky fan, and I was a really big fan of Damage Control when they first got presented to us. But due to lack of booking, due to losing important matches, a lot of that excitement for Damage Control just went downhill. And I really do think that once Damage Control breaks up, Io Sky, she's really going to take the next step in her career. I think she's a lot better than Asuka. That's just my opinion. Probably unpopular, but it is what it is. I think that Io Sky versus Bianca Belair is going to be a fantastic match. But I think that this won't be the last time we see Io Sky going for a world championship.
You know what? You know what would have been 2 better matches for this card?
What would that be?
Io Sky and Asuka 1-on-1, and then Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair 1-on-1.
Yeah, to like unify the championship, and then you could have a new design title. That would make a lot of sense. But I do have Bianca Belair retaining the championship. I don't see her losing it just yet. And I feel like her title run is going to be coming to an end pretty soon. But I don't know who it's going to be. That's something we're definitely going to have to stay tuned for.
We're going to have to watch the next couple of weeks, man, because, I mean, a lot of people are excited to see Bianca and Charlotte Flair go 1-on-1. I hope to God, if that match does have to happen, whatever. I hope to fucking God Charlotte Flair does not win. I am so over the whole Charlotte Flair winning championships whenever the fuck she wants to. It's fucking sickening.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's move on to the next match here. We have the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes versus the Beast Brock Lesnar.
This is one of those matches at the beginning of the podcast. I was saying like how this match doesn't make sense. We don't know, this past Monday was like the last time we were able to hear like, reasoning as to why Brock Lesnar attacked Cody Rhodes, and we have yet to get any kind of explanation. Apparently, from what a lot of people are saying and what they've been saying on commentary, is Brock Lesnar is upset that Cody was in the main event, that he's not, and that Brock Lesnar cannot challenge Roman Reigns again for the title. But that would make me think, like, if Brock Lesnar really legitimately was upset that he can't challenge Roman Reigns, wouldn't that give him the inspiration to take out each member of the bloodline 1-on-1? Why would he take out Cody Rhodes, who's in the same position that he's in? They both want to get rid of Roman Reigns, so why is Brock going to take out Cody instead of taking out the Usos or Solo or, torment Paul or something, just to, be able to have Roman Reigns get rid of that stipulation so they can have, like, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, they definitely backed themselves in a corner in this situation here. Doesn't make sense at all. I know that they were supposed to have a tag match on the night after Mania, and Brock, before the match started, he attacked Cody Rhodes, and then we never really got an explanation from it. I know Cody Rhodes has been cutting promos, but that doesn't explain why Brock did what he did. And for me, going into this match, I think it's going to be a solid match, probably one of Brock Lesnar's better matches, in my opinion. But the one thing that is getting taken away here from me, in my opinion, with this match, I feel like there should be a stipulation involved in this match. Like when Brock, this storyline had the potential of being a John Cena versus Brock Lesnar type of match. And we saw, Brock Lesnar make his return back in 2012 after Cena lost to The Rock. And Lesnar attacked Cena the night after, got a huge pop, and then going into Extreme Rules, because, of course, John Cena, was going through some stuff after losing one of the biggest matches of his career, had to go against Brock Lesnar, who was coming off, being a former UFC world champion. And, we got to see, like, how brutal that was. Seeing Brock Lesnar jump over the stairs onto Cena, all the blood gushing through Cena. Like, Cody Rhodes versus Brock should have definitely had a stipulation in there to really show the hard times, the hardship, and to really, build this whole finishing the story with Cody.
Exactly. And like I said, like, it just, is it going to be a good match? Sure, it's going to be fine. These two are going to tear each other apart. But there's no explanation as to why Brock Lesnar would attack Cody Rhodes and be upset that he wasn't in the main event and that he can't challenge Roman Reigns. Why is it, I'm going to attack Roman Reigns, so I can't face Roman Reigns for the title anymore. Let me attack this other guy who wants to beat Roman Reigns' ass too, instead of taking out a member of Roman's family.
Here's the thing to me, Danny, that's not going to really make sense here. I feel like after Cody beats Brock at Backlash, Brock Lesnar is going to disappear. And I think at SummerSlam, we're going to be getting Gunther versus Brock Lesnar for the IC title. And I feel like what's going to happen, it's not going to make any sense at all, because how are you going to have Brock Lesnar go from being a babyface back to a heel to then being a babyface? Because we all know Gunther and Imperium is not going to be babyfaces.
I didn't even see Brock Lesnar's heel turn. I just saw him attack Cody Rhodes.
And I feel like that's like, him like turning heel, but who knows what's going to happen.
The match is going to be fine. It doesn't make any sense. Like I said, like,
I wish it was like a Falls Count Anywhere match or something.
If somebody attacked my family, like hypothetically speaking, somebody attacked my family, right? I'm going to attack somebody of their family. I'm not going to just go off, and attack some other guy who has nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any fucking sense, and it drives me crazy, bro.
I feel like the only reason they're doing this match is because they want Brock Lesnar to give Cody like 100 suplexes and have Cody not give up and show the hardship. I think that's like the only reason I can think of why they're having this match happen.
And a lot of other people are saying that they're backing themselves up into an even bigger corner, because now Roman is on SmackDown, Cody's on Raw. The only way we could be getting Cody versus Roman again is if Cody wins Money in the Bank.
Or goes to Royal Rumble and he gets to choose who he goes against.
I don't want to see that. I don't want that match at WrestleMania next year. I don't. I want to see something completely new, bro. We saw Roman and Brock 2 years in a row. I don't need to see Roman and Cody 2 years in a row. I just don't need to see it.
Same here.
Do that at SummerSlam, man. Have Cody win at Money in the Bank at the O2 Arena in London, because obviously Roman's not going to be there. They're going to want a big megastar there. If Brock's not going to be there, which I don't think he is, because he usually doesn't go to Money in the Bank too often. Have Cody win. He can go to SummerSlam in Detroit and beat Roman there. I don't want to see Roman and Cody at WrestleMania next year. I don't
want to see it either, to be honest with you. But now, who do you have winning this match between Cody and Brock?
I have Cody, because I do think that Brock is going to be taking a vacation. He loves to take vacations around this time of year. It's the beginning of summer. Probably has family stuff planned with his kids and his wife. He around this time he does, and then around SummerSlam ish is usually when he comes back. So he likes to have a good month or two off a year. So I do think after this match, obviously they have to have it because it's their first pay-per-view or premium live event in Puerto Rico in like 17 years. They got to have a big, massive main event. But I do think Cody's going to win because Brock's going to be taking a vacation.
And you have to think about it too. Roman Reigns, their other big star, he's not going to be at the show. So you need to have a blockbuster guy like Brock Lesnar, who is an attraction, who is going to put asses in seats at the end of the day, and having him go against Cody Rhodes, who's one of the most popular baby faces right now in the WWE. It only makes sense to sell out the event, only makes sense to, get people to watch this premier live event. And who I have winning this match, I think it's going to be Cody Rhodes. I think that Brock is going to be kicking his ass so bad, he's going to have the entire crowd believing that Cody's going to lose this match, but Cody's going to refuse to give up. And then I could see Cody Rhodes winning. But also, we're going to be seeing him, I think, the next few weeks on Raw with like taped up, ribs. And I think the finals of this whole, tournament for the World Heavyweight Championship is going to be Cody versus Seth. But because of the ribs, being a problem, Seth Rollins is going to actually get the victory on Cody and win the championship.
I could definitely see that happening. Like I said, this is going to be a fun match. It's going to be an entertaining match. Hopefully, Brock wants to go more than 5 minutes. I'm just not into the story because there is none. I wish it was
10 minutes. I'm happy. 10 minutes or more, I'm happy with this match. But honestly, I think that this is just going to be a part of Cody's story. And that's like what I'm looking at it from. I think that Brock Lesnar, realistically, what they're doing here is trying to have him put Cody Rhodes over so that, people are not thinking as much about the loss that he had at WrestleMania with Roman than, having this match with Brock. And it's only going to, push Cody more into the story to get to Roman Reigns.
Yeah, it's all part of his story, all part of his adversity, and I feel like when Cody finally does dethrone the tribal chief, he's gonna be the biggest babyface on the fucking planet. So,
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to seeing how the story plays out. There's just sitting here thinking about it and talking about it, like, there's like 5 other things I would have done, to get people invested in this match, other than, Brock is upset about the main event.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of things all of us would probably do better than this. But it is a filler because of the draft and because of, Night of Champions and stuff. So this
I feel
show,
like
the storylines and stuff are going to be more lackluster. But I think the matches could definitely carry this event and turning it into a solid show.
Backlash has pretty much been a filler show since probably like 2008, 2009. It hasn't really, like, it's lost a lot of his, prestige. It used to be such a good show, man. One of the biggest shows.
I'll tell you I'll tell you something. The SmackDown Live Backlash back in, I think, 2016, that was actually a really good Backlash pay-per-view. Because around that time when they did the draft and stuff, like SmackDown and Raw, like the way that they did the draft, both brands were so equal, where like SmackDown Live really became like the land of opportunity. And like a lot of these guys really took, the opportunities and, ran with it.
I don't think I watched that show. That
Definitely
was around
a show you're going to have to go back and watch.
That was around the time, my youngest daughter was born, because she was born at the end of April. So, around that time, I was sort of, my focus was elsewhere. And obviously that was before I started podcasting and stuff like that. So I'll definitely have to go back and check it out, and I'll give you guys my thoughts on a future episode of the podcast.
So moving on now to the next match we have here. It is for the SmackDown Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley defending the championship against Zelina Vega from the LWO.
This is another match that I have an issue with, because the whole premise around this match is Zelina Vega being a Puerto Rican woman wanting to wrestle in her home country. Does it get any more fucking racist sounding than that? Even if Zelina Vega even said on SmackDown, "Yeah, I'm Puerto Rican, I should be at the show." Like, son messed up about this whole entire thing.
Usually when it comes to a pay-per-view, especially one like this, being, the first time since 2005, being, having a pay-per-view held, they're going to want a hometown hero to, wrestle there. And Zelina Vega's had a very underrated career throughout her, wrestling career.
And I'm fine at
for
that.
her to have this opportunity on, the big stage here in her hometown, going for, the world championship, that's why they're doing it, because she's going to get that pop, that hometown pop. And especially right now with the LWO being very popular, getting very over with the crowd, selling merchandise right now in the top 5, I think that, this is a great way to get more eyes on her, because a lot of people know her for being a great valet, being a great manager. That's pretty much what she's done in WWE. And now she's getting the opportunity to showcase what she could do in that ring, because before WWE, she did, wrestle. She did wrestle in them gymnasiums. She wrestled in TNA for a little bit. She did a lot of underground work to get to where she's at today, and she hasn't been able to show it.
I still have an issue with it though. Like, I don't have an issue with the match. I have an issue with how it's being structured. And I don't even think Zelina Vega has ever lived in Puerto Rico, bro. She's from New York City. That's our home country. Like, she is Puerto Rican. So obviously, I guess, ancestry wise, all Puerto Ricans are from Puerto Rico in a way. But I don't think she's ever lived in Puerto
Yeah,
Rico.
but I think her family, they were they were born
Yeah,
in Puerto Rico.
but still, this match should be involved with her ability in the ring, not because, oh, I'm Puerto Rican, I deserve to be at the show.
Yeah, but I don't think that's like the way that they're trying to approach the situation. I think they're trying to have her on this show so that she can show what she can do, especially in, a crowd that's going to be behind her.
I don't know. All I know is last week on SmackDown or the week before, Zelina Vega was like, "I'm Puerto Rican. I want to be at the show. I want to match with Rhea Ripley. It's in Puerto Rico. I'm Puerto Rican. I need to be there." That's what this whole match is surrounded by.
Well, they've been building her up like an underdog too. Like I did like how she asked Ray for advice.
But I just have an issue with Ray's being brought into it, bro. Zelina Vega, she should have this match because she deserves it. She's good in the ring. She's a good character. She gets over with the crowd. I don't give a fuck if she's brown, red, purple, orange. I don't give a fuck. I don't think Ray should be brought into any of this. That's how issues start. Yes, she's a Hispanic woman. That's fucking awesome. I'm married to a Hispanic woman as well. They're very proud individuals. But she should be in this match because she fucking earned it, not because of the color of her fucking skin.
But I think that's why she's in the match, is because she earned this opportunity, and Triple H knows how talented she really is. Yeah. And having this opportunity, especially going against one of the most popular women right now, Rhea Ripley, I think that this is a great way to get more eyes on her and, show what she can really do in the ring.
Yeah, I
think the story, I'm not going to, I agree. The storytelling in all of these matches are not good, Danny. We all know that. 150%.
I just have an issue with when Zelina Vega was talking with Adam Pearce backstage, saying that she's Puerto Rican, she should be on this show. She wants to, she's Puerto Rican. Ray should not be brought into any of this. It shouldn't be about, oh, I'm black, so when we're in South Africa, I'm going to win the world title. But it doesn't make any sense to me, and I don't like it.
No, I understand where you're coming from, but now, who do we have winning this match?
I got to go with Rhea Ripley. She's on a dominating streak. I do think Zelina Vega is going to look very strong, though. I feel like Judgment Day are going to get involved in some way, and maybe LWO come out and they have a big brawl. Obviously, later on in the night, we have Damian Priest going against Bad Bunny, which to a lot of people, Bad Bunny is synonymous with Puerto Rico. So, that's going to be everybody's main event that everybody's going to want to watch. But I do feel like Judgment Day and LWO, at least Dominic and Ray, are going to get involved in some fashion. I mean, it's going to happen, man. Mark my fucking words.
So I do have Rhea Ripley retaining the championship, but I do think Zelina Vega is going to look really good in this match, and she's going to come up very short. I think that, Rey Mysterio and the LWO, they're going to get involved when Finn Balor and Dominic try to, help Rhea win. I think the LWO is going to get a huge pop, and I think after Rhea Ripley wins, something's going to happen with Judgment Day, and then LWO will be standing tall. And, they'll get the big pop. And I think that Zelina Vega, and I think just in general with this entire card, what Triple H is trying to do is he knows that this show is going to have a lot of eyes on it because this is the first time since 2005 it's being held in Puerto Rico. And I think that his goal out of this Premier Live event, because he knows it's a filler, let me put guys and girls that I think are talented and give them an opportunity to show what they can do on a bigger stage that's not Raw or SmackDown. And, to get more eyes on them. I think Bronson Reed in the triple threat match, he's going to look very good because last time we got to see him was Elimination Chamber and he looked really good.
Yeah.
We go into Bianca versus Io Sky. Io Sky has not had an opportunity like this on the main roster. So her going against Bianca Belair, one of the most popular women, I think that eyes are going to be on Io Sky. Then you have Cody and Brock. Great, match to, fill the arena with the seats. Then, obviously we have Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, and we have not seen Damian Priest get an opportunity since, not being a part of Judgment Day.
And it's a San Juan street fight, bro.
And he's getting an opportunity on a premier live event that a lot of people are going to have their eyes on. So I think overall the plan here is, and it's unfortunate, the lack of storytelling has shown the past few weeks. Yep. But their goal here is to put these guys and girls over.
There's a statistic. I was watching somebody's live stream. They were reviewing, what was that? I think it was Monday Night Raw, or either that or it was the last Friday night on SmackDown. Somebody mentioned a statistic that Santos Escobar and them, like LWO, like they've only won like 1 or 2 matches since they've been on the main roster.
Yeah, they have not been winning a lot of matches, which
like they're
to me is mind blowing.
Apparently, they're the top merch sellers in the division, but they're not winning. They're not winning any matches. So, what could WWE do creatively to get them even more over? Because LWO, they were huge in WCW, being led by Eddie Guerrero, obviously. So. What could WWE do to really put them on the next level?
I think it's all going to have to do with the WWE draft. I think now that Raw and SmackDown, there's going to be some structure in the WWE Hopefully. Now. I think that the LWO, they're going to, pick up a lot of momentum now that Triple H is going to be taking the full reins after, Backlash moving on. I think that the LWO, they are going to pick up some wins and maybe become tag team champions, maybe, if they keep this momentum.
I could see it, man. It's gonna be cooler because and I've even talked, mentioned this, obviously, JD McDonough from NXT, he got drafted to the main roster. I do think it's a very real possibility that one or two things could happen. Rhea Ripley and Dom could leave Judgment Day, and JD McDonough could, be a part of them. That way it's 3 instead of 4 or 5 guys. I do think we see Dominic at the end of the story. I do think we see Dominic begging his dad to allow him to join the LWO. I see it.
The writing Dominic is on the wall. Has so much heat right now. Don't fix something that's not broken.
I don't think it's going to happen soon, but I do think at the end of the story, it's going to happen. He's going to have this epiphany in his head, and he's going to beg his dad, he's going to beg his dad for forgiveness, and he's going to beg his dad to allow him to join the LWO. I guarantee you that's exactly where the story's going. And pretty soon, Rhea Ripley is going to be such a big megastar. She's not going to need a group behind her. She's going to want to go out and demolish the entire women's division, which again brings in JD McDonough.
Very true.
I mean, the writing is all on the wall, bro.
We're just going to have to wait and see with what happens. But now, moving on to our last match before we get into our main event. We have a 6-man tag match. We have Riddle and Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens going against the Bloodline.
I am happy that this match isn't just like a WrestleMania rematch, because obviously we already saw it. And that,
thank God.
One of the best SmackDown main events I've seen in a long time. I love Kevin Owens. I love Sami Zayn. Riddle, I used to hate him, and then I liked him, and now I'm just like, certain things that he does are fucking hilarious to me, and I laugh so hard my ribs hurt. And then other things that I'm like, yeah, bro, that wasn't that funny. I do think that it makes perfect sense as to why they're facing the Usos and Solo, and it gives Solo, a big opportunity. They have been building up Solo, man. He's another guy that's going to be a future world champion. Like, once Roman is gone, bro, he's going to be the head of the NY family in the pro wrestling business. Even more, he's more over than the Usos, and the Usos have been in WWE since what, 2014, something like that.
2010.
2010. You know, Solo's only been in for not even a year yet, and he's more over than the Usos. Like, the dude is just, they put a rocket ship on his back and fucking sent his ass to the moon. So I'm really looking forward to this match. They have to involve Riddle because obviously Solo's the one that took out Riddle for those couple of months or whatever, when in
It
reality,
makes sense.
you know, Riddle had his issues or whatever. I'm just wondering where they go from this. I do hope, and from what I know, not this week, but next week, Roman returns to SmackDown. Obviously, we saw the Usos get drafted to SmackDown.
The whole bloodline is on SmackDown.
I'm really happy they did, because we have yet to see that confrontation with Roman and the Usos after they lost at WrestleMania. I am so fucking excited, bro. I can't even tell you. I can't even express how excited I am, man.
So, my thoughts now on the 6-man tag match. You want to talk about a great filler match for, a filling pay-per-view with lackluster storylines?
Hey,
this is perfect.
This is one of the, I wouldn't even consider this match a filler, bro. This is like, out of every match on this card, this is the one that has the most in-depth story behind it.
Well, that's what I mean, like a filler, like premiere live event. That's like what I was trying to say. I think that, this definitely does have the more storytelling involved here. And I think that this is going to be a fun match. I think that it can definitely go both ways. Definitely unpredictable here because, of course, after Backlash, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they will be on the Raw brand, which I know them having both titles, they'll probably be going to both brands, defending them.
Yeah,
I really want to happen here. We need to get rid of the design. We need just one championship for them to hold, because with the Usos, it looked good, but now with Sami and Kevin, it just looks weird.
I want to ask you this, and it does involve the tag team titles. Seeing as they have both the SmackDown and the Raw tag titles, I do feel like one of two things is going to happen. Either they're going to have revamped titles, and they're going to strip one of the titles away. That way, the SmackDown tag titles can go back to SmackDown. Or they have a new title design and they allow them to go to swap back and forth from both shows. But I feel like if they do the both shows thing, it's just gonna carry on with the Usos, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens story. And I just as much as I like seeing it, the more we see it, the less intrigue people are gonna have for it. So where do you think they go with them having both the Raw and SmackDown titles, knowing that they can't go to SmackDown? Like, how does that work?
Here's the thing. I'm stuck in the middle here because I feel like the tag division is lackluster. I know that Triple H has been building tag teams, and I think in a couple years from now, he's setting them up for success. But right now, I don't think that having two championships, one on Raw, one on SmackDown, is really going to do anything. Yeah. That's why, a part of me wants them to have one tag team championships and have the champions, go to both brands. But then another part of me wants SmackDown and Raw to have their own titles so that we can build more tag teams. We could build more stars. And I think that that's also very important. But is the tag teams right now that Triple H has, are they strong enough to, carry their brand? Because I know on SmackDown, they just got Pretty Deadly now, which I think that they definitely have potential of being a solid tag team. I know on Raw, they have, some great tag teams over there. Sami and Kevin are over there, so they could be carrying that brand. So there's a lot of things that they could do here. So for me, I'm really stuck in the middle. I think having one title on Raw, one title on SmackDown, that's better structure. But there is a little bit of a lack of, big, legitimate tag teams that could be champions.
Yeah, they definitely are very lacking in, the women's division too. How many tag team partners has fucking Natalya had over the last couple
One
months?
thing I'm very impressed with Triple H, drafting some NXT tag teams, because in the women, that's one thing that they got over there is great tag teams.
I was listening to another podcast. I'm a podcast nerd, bro. I love wrestling podcasts or whatever because I like getting
Well,
people,
good thing you
different.
are, because some of these We Are Wrestling Maniacs, I'm sure, are, and now they can listen to us on Spotify.
Exactly, and
Soon, Apple Podcasts and
I
Google.
I love getting people like other people's perspective on certain things. And somebody mentioned, putting Zion Quinn, who's a free agent, Von Wagner, who's a free agent, and pairing them up with Baron Corbin and having like some kind of stable around them, helping them get over on the main roster.
Yeah, you could do something like that, but I think we're getting a little bit off topic here.
Well, we were
Back
talking about the
to-
tag division, so.
But now back to, the 6-man, tag match here. I think that this is going to be a solid match. And with Riddle, like you were saying, I definitely want to give my thoughts on this a little bit. I might dive deep into this on hot takes pretty soon. But with Riddle, I have a love-hate relationship with the guy. I think he's a fantastic performer, hilarious. But my problem is the trouble he gets into outside the ring. He can't be professional. And that's something that I really hope, this time around, him coming back, he learns from and grows. Because I think that he definitely has the potential of being a world champion in wrestling. But the only way he's going to get to that level is if he decides to grow up. And I really hope that he does that.
Doesn't Brock Lesnar and Goldberg have issues with him or whatever because of, how he is backstage or something?
Yep, because on NXT, when he was a developmental guy, he called them out and wanted a match and trying to go into business for himself. And that's something you really don't do when you're in a business, especially WWE, where you have to respect your veterans and Hall of Famers.
Yep. I mean, hopefully the guy's learned his lesson. He seems like he's in a better mind space, now than he was a couple months ago. So we're gonna have to see where he goes from here.
Definitely. But now, who do we have winning this match?
I have to go with. See, as much as I'm kind of conflicted. On one hand, I do think Kevin Owens, Sammy, and Riddle are gonna win, but on the other hand, the bloodline has pretty much been losing since Mania. Even though one could argue that that's what needs to happen, and Roman Reigns is going to have, a lot to say about it.
Ooh, hold on a minute. So wait, have they confirmed that Roman Reigns is going to be on SmackDown next week?
Yes, not this week, next week.
Next week, after Backlash, right?
Yes.
I think I know what's going to happen here, or what should happen.
What do you think is going to happen? Man, spill the beans, man.
So, here's what I think could happen potentially here, and I hope We Are Wrestling, you clip this for the social media pages.
Clip it.
So, I think that Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Riddle will win this match against the Bloodline. I think that Jey Uso will get pinned in this match, or Jimmy. Solo will not be the one to get pinned. Going into SmackDown now, because of course we've been seeing a lot of teasing happening with Paul Heyman being on the phone with the Tribal Chief and having, Solo Sikoa coming out, during the tag team title main event, a few weeks ago on Friday Night SmackDown. Mm-hmm. And the Usos lost the gold to Sami and Kevin. Now that Kevin and Sami are not going to be a part of the SmackDown brand, that's going to leave a lot of issues with the Bloodline because the Usos don't have the gold. And now they have to go back to the bottom to work their way back up to the gold. And I think on SmackDown, I could see Roman Reigns because, of course, they all lost the match. Solo Sikoa and the Usos. So Roman could be having people believe that he's going to turn his back on the entire family. But he doesn't. Nope, hold on. But he doesn't turn on Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa will attack the Usos, and that is going to be the next chapter in the Bloodline storyline.
Definitely could. I could see Jay losing here because if you notice the direction that the story's going, the way he looks whenever, they're talking backstage, the Usos and, Solo and Paul, and
talking crazy to Solo Sikoa.
Sami Zayn is trying to talk Jay into, turning over a new leaf. Jimmy is sort of still on that, I'm going to do what I got to do for my family. Jay has sort of turned into this character that, he loves his family, but he knows what he should do. But he, out of respect and love for his family, he chooses the wrong path.
They will turn on Jay on SmackDown, I think.
Bro, man, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
I know all of us, we are Wrestling Maniacs, keep thinking that it's going to happen now, but then it doesn't happen, and we're still waiting for it to happen. I think it's going to happen on SmackDown when Roman comes back. Something is happening here, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
I'm excited to see it too, man, because like I said, we have yet, since the Usos lost the tag titles, we have yet to see that confrontation. We have yet to see Roman and the Usos in the same ring, in the same area. So I'm excited to see it.
So I do have Riddle, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens winning this match because it's just going to build more tension for Friday Night SmackDown.
Oh, it's going to be a great show.
Who do you got?
I got Sammy, KO, and Riddle. It's gonna add different dimensions to the story, and it's gonna piss Roman off, and that's something you don't do, man. You don't piss the tribal chief off. They the ones,
you don't.
But the only real one is Roman fucking Reigns, man.
So, moving on now to the main event, and the reason why we are wrestling, we have this as the main event, is because right now, as we're recording our predictions, there is speculation that they do want this to be, the last match of the night, because a lot of fans are looking forward to seeing this. We have a street fight between Damian Priest and Bad Bunny.
What a fantastic, remember when Damian Priest first came to Raw or came to the main roster from NXT? He was sort of in limbo, losing matches, not really having any sort of direction. And now he's the leader of Judgment Day. He's in a huge match in Puerto Rico with Bad Bunny. And this is, with the amount of people that idolize Bad Bunny, this is going to be one of the most viewed wrestling matches on the planet. And it's in San Juan, Puerto Rico for the first time in like 17 years. Like Damian Priest he took chicken shit and made chicken salad out of it. Like the dude.
That's a great take.
It's true though. I remember everybody was complaining about Damian Priest when he first came up to the main roster because there was really no direction for him. And now the dude's
chicken shit into chicken salad.
Like there's pro wrestlers that would cut off their fucking nuts to be in the position that Damian Priest is in right now. Like, I am so happy with the fucking guy, man.
Man, and that's something too I want to say. Like, being a fan of Damian Priest going all the way back to his Ring of Honor run as Punishment Martinez, seeing him, grow, I'm really happy for him to get all these opportunities in WWE, because when he first got signed to WWE and I saw that Performance Center picture of him, I was very happy for him, but I didn't really think that they would have anything for him, because in Ring of Honor, if you watch some of his work, they didn't really have much for his character at the time over there. But for him, to come to WWE and just, turn himself into a star, I'm very happy for him, and to have this opportunity against, one of the most popular artists in the world right now, Bad Bunny. Honestly, there's nobody that deserves this opportunity more than Damian Priest.
And like I said, especially in front of the Hispanic audience, in Puerto Rico, they're both their home countries, and if this match, usually I would never say this, but if this match isn't the main event, I feel like a lot of people are going to be upset.
And that's the thing, like, this will be Bad Bunny's first singles match in WWE, because there is some long-term storytelling involved in this, because didn't Bad Bunny team with Damian Priest to go against Miz and Morrison at WrestleMania?
Yeah. They Bad Bunny and Damian Priest were really good friends, man.
They go back.
When Bad Bunny he helped train Bad Bunny at the Performance Center. When Bad Bunny came to Monday Night Raw those couple of times or whatever around WrestleMania 38, or 37. Can't remember which one it was. Um, they would just be really, really, really good friends. And now that they're at odds, Damian Priest is sort of that heel asshole, and Damian Priest is, or Bad Bunny, like he knows he's smaller, but he's not going to take any shit. He's not going to get pushed around. So in a way, Bad Bunny is sort of the underdog character in this story.
And I gotta say, I'm really looking forward to this match. I want to see what Bad Bunny can do in a singles match, because I know with Logan Paul, he started off in a tag match, teaming with The Miz. And that's how he kind of got his foot in the door, and then ended up having, a singles match against The Miz, who he teamed with. Now Bad Bunny's going to be going against Damian Priest, who, he's teamed with. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. And honestly, for, this pay-per-view, this Premier Live event, I think that, especially with the lack of storylines, this one right here is a great match to, really get some eyes on Damian Priest.
Especially with this not just being a regular wrestling match. We're not going to be seeing arm drags. We're not going to be seeing, headlocks. We're going to see, Bad Bunny taking a kendo stick and beating the fuck out of Damian Priest like we saw on Monday Night Raw. So, I mean, I told you a couple days ago, man, I'm really excited for this match, more so than I normally would. But for all these elements, as being a street fight, they're in Puerto Rico. It's a big show. It's a big money match. There's gonna be a lot of eyes on this match. I'm excited, man. What can I say?
So one thing I want to add before we get into who we have winning this main event here, I do want to say one thing I love about the Judgment Day. Every member in that group feels important. Everybody in that group has their own personality. And I love the structure of this faction, because every pay-per-view it's different. When I thought that when Dominic got punched from Bad Bunny, it was going to be Bad Bunny versus Dominic at Backlash. Obvious. But they're giving this opportunity to Damian Priest, which I like.
Damian chokeslammed Bad Bunny through the announce table and folded him up, and that was like the headline everywhere. So
but that's what I like here. Finn Balor gets matches. He got to face AJ Styles at the Survivor Series. Got to face Edge inside the Hell in the Cell. Dominic got to go against his father at WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley.
Don't forget, at
putting on great matches.
At WrestleMania, Bad Bunny took the chain away from Dominic because he was going to cheat to beat his father.
Yep. And that's the thing, like, Damian Priest also gets himself in matches as well. And I think if you want a faction to succeed, that's how you have to do it. And with the Judgment Day, they have done a fantastic job so far.
Exactly. It's gonna be a good match, man. I have Bad Bunny winning this match, man. He needs a big victory, and I do feel like, with all the elements to this match that I previously stated, I do believe that, Damian Priest could stand to lose a match. He's been on a good roll.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny doesn't perform that often. This is in Puerto Rico. I do feel like Bad Bunny, it's going to be a hard-hitting match. Damian Priest is not going to go down without a fight, but I do think maybe Bad Bunny, hits him so hard that he just KOs. And there's no possible way for Damian Priest to get back up. And he finally, capitalizes on it, goes for the 1-2-3, and Bad Bunny wins. So that's what I think is going to happen.
This is going to be a very fun match. I'm really looking forward to seeing this. I think that Bad Bunny is going to beat Damian Priest. I think that Damian Priest is not going to look bad at all in this match. I think that there's going to definitely be, a lot of candlestick hits in this match. I think that these two are going to put on, a great main event match. And I think that Bad Bunny, another reason why I think Bad Bunny is going to win is because Zelina Vega is not going to beat Rhea Ripley. And I think what's going to happen is Bad Bunny's going to win, send the whole crowd home happy. And there's the end of WWE Backlash. Go into Monday Night Raw with the Raw brand. Then we go into SmackDown with the SmackDown brand, and we really get started the next chapter in WWE.
I hate to do this, and it's a match that I even forgot was going to happen. But there's one more match on this fucking card that we haven't talked about yet. Omos.
Oh my god! I was really trying to get away with not talking about it.
Omos and Seth Rollins, man. And I wanted to forget about it too.
I went on WWE.com to find these pictures, and I did not see Seth Rollins and Omos.
That shows.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never heard of this match, Danny. Here's what I hope happens if this is true. Seth Rollins curve stops Omos 1, 2, 3. Match ends in 5 seconds.
Normally, I would have totally got, not even brought it up, man.
Oh my god!
But there's one thing that could possibly happen, man.
What can happen?
We could be seeing Logan Paul show up again. It's the only reason why I mentioned it, man. It's in Puerto Rico. He lives in Puerto Rico. You're telling me he's not going to be there?
I think Seth Rollins and Logan Paul, they're moving on from each other. I don't know what you're talking about. Never heard of this match happening at all.
Match not happening.
Match is not happening. If it is, 5 seconds. Rollins gonna kick Omos in the nuts, hit him with the curve stomp. 1, 2, 3. Match is over.
Yeah, man. So that was our prediction video for Backlash, man. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Check us out on Spotify, Apple, all that bullshit.
Give us a 5-star review.
We need it, man, because I would like to think we're very entertaining podcast hosts.
I think so. But to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, let us know in the comment section below who you guys have, for your predictions for Backlash. We'd love to hear it. And this Saturday, we'll be doing a watch-along on the We Are Wrestling YouTube channel, watching Backlash live. So if you're looking for, a buddy to watch Backlash with, well, we could be your buddies. If you enjoyed this predictions for Backlash, make sure to smash that like button now. Give us a 5-star review on Spotify and all the other podcasting services that the We Are Wrestling brand is on. If you're not a We Are Wrestling Maniac yet already, subscribe, turn on the post notifications. The link's down in the description below on the YouTube descriptions. You can follow Danny and I on our social medias and other YouTube pages, all that down below. In addition, you want shorter clips of the podcast. You can't sit through an hour of us just talking about pro wrestling. Recommend you guys to go follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're posting clips on there every day. All the links down below. And of course, to all the We Are Wrestling Maniacs out there worldwide, we are taking over. Peace.